Operation Gunnerside. On the evening of 27th of February 1943, 9 Norwegian commandos raided the German-held Vermont plant, a hydroelectric water plant just outside Rjukan, Norway. At the time, the hydro plant was one of the few places in the world that was able to produce a huge amount of heavy water. The Germans needed this heavy water in order to create atomic bombs. The aim of the raid was to destroy the water pipes in the basement of the plant so that the water that the Germans had created would drain away. Before Operation Gunnerside, there was another plan to storm and destroy the plant's machinery. This was given the codename Grouse. 4 men were dropped near Vermont. However, there were other soldiers that were meant to be coming in planes, but they crashed, and they either died or were taken as prisoners of war. So the 4 men had to wait throughout the harsh winter for more backup to come. Lieutenant Hans Poulsen led the team, consisting of Klaus Hellberg, Knut Hoagland, and the second-in-command, Sergeant Arnold Schildstrup. Since the last plan failed, they now needed a new, different approach, so Operation Gunnerside was planned. 6 new men were going to be dispatched near Vermont. Lieutenant Joachim Ronnerberg would lead Frederick Kaiser, Hans Storhug, Kasper Eidland, Birger Stormschiem, and Knut Hoagland. After a few weeks of intense training, Gunnerside was dropped on February 16, 1943, 30 miles off Vermont. By February 27th, Gunnerside and Grouse were finally together. They soon began the long trek towards the plant, but because the easiest way to get into the hydro was a tiny drawbridge, they had to pass over a different way. The troops had to go into a ravine and cross over a river in order to not get caught. After the painful climb and another half-mile hike, they eventually arrived at the hydro. Once the troops had broken in, they split into 2 groups, the demolition team and the covering team. The covering team set up their positions at the bridges, barracks and gates. The demolition team worked its way up to the plant in pairs. They soon got inside and found the room with all the pipes containing the heavy water. The hydro's caretaker was in the room, however he never sounded the alarms. They quickly set up the explosives and made a run for it. When the explosion came, it completely destroyed the inside of the building, and more than 3,000 pounds of water streamed down the plant's drains. By the time the Germans had realised what had happened, the commandos were gone safely and with no gunshots fired. The operation was a complete success, and the Germans' attempt to make the atomic bombs were set back enormously.